This right here is likely the best premium true wireless noise cancelling earphone I've ever heard, guys, and it's from Texas. Not from Worthing, United Kingdom or Tokyo, Japan, but White House, Texas, 2 hours southeast of Dallas. This, my friends, is the Noble FOKUS REX5. Remember this name and remember it well. And also, if you want one, better start saving up. The Noble FOKUS REX5 retails for $450 and it comes in this really beautiful emerald green colorway. Doing all the grunt work are dual Qualcomm QCC3091 mid-range chipsets, each one handling the left and right channels. There's Bluetooth 5.4 on board with AAC, SBC, aptX adaptive, and LDAC, and there's also multi-point, by the way. The weight on these things a little bit on the heavier side, 9 grams per bud, and the case is 50 grams. And battery life during my time with it, I got around 6.4 hours without ANC with aptX adaptive at 65% volume. And the number drops to 4.8 hours with ANC on under the same conditions. And speaking of active noise cancellation, I'll rate pass to a C- for sounding very two-dimensional, while active noise cancellation itself gets a B+. The case is mostly aluminum except for the bottom here, which is plastic to cater to wireless charging, USB-C charging in the back, of course, LED status light at the front. There's a slight cutout here for your fingers to easily pop this open. The Noble logo is ever so slightly engraved, very subtle, but not so subtle as this green. If you're not a fan of this, you're SOL, because this is the only colorway you got, at least for now. But otherwise, the workmanship on this thing, the materials are just exquisite on this. It just feels expensive, as it should. The lid has a nice strong magnet right there to keep it closed, and then when you pop it open, it has a positive lock as well. And you can see there are no shiny plastics whatsoever, aside from the acrylic that seems to be shiny, but it's easy to clean. It's just the way I like it. The cavity is just nice and shallow enough for easy cleaning as well, maintenance. Pairing button is right there in the middle. And when you saw a second ago, when you pop this open, the earbuds flash a steady light to show that it's paired. If it's flashing, it is pairing. But otherwise, yeah, this is really nicely made. Oh, and speaking of cleaning, I'm not sure if you noticed earlier in the specs I did not mention an IP rating. Well, that's because there's none on these, so don't run these under a tap or a shower, obviously. I think working out is okay. I took these running the other day and they're fine. Just a light wipe down or something like that, but don't expose this to heavy rain. Light drizzle should be okay. Just treat them with respect and they'll be fine, but a lot of people might find the lack of IP rating a huge knock. Otherwise though, back to the earbuds. These things are fantastic. Acrylic molding at the top and that marble looking IEM kind of style is what Noble is going for here. All aluminum on the bottom half. You can see another logo here for the nozzle shield, and the nozzle is nice and short. You can see a couple of mic ports here and there for the ANC as well as phone mics. We'll look at how they work later on. There are touch controls on the surface out here, single, double, triple taps as well as hold. And the ear tips, they come in, I'll show you what comes in the set later on, but they're super easy to install. Right now they're kind of, my fingers are slippery for some reason, kind of sweaty, but they're easy to install and really you can see right there how it's made. Something you'll notice too, there is no wear detection window right here, so that's a huge knock for me. At this price there should be wear detection, but unfortunately there is not. And since we're here, let's do the shake test. Yeah, that was a total fail even before I finished the statement. Yeah, so thumbs down to that. In the box, you get this drawstring fabric pouch to protect the delicate case, and also this short charging cable and a lot of ear tip options. Oddly, there is no foam tips, just a lot of different silicone ones. Straight up, the Noble FOKUS app is one of the quickest and easiest I've used in a while, if a little odd in places. At the home screen, there is battery life, media, and ANC controls, but for some reason you can turn off ANC controls from being displayed here. There's also a random 10-band EQ description that does nothing. It's perpetually there and not contextual by any means. There's a scrollable panel on the right, keeping things neat and tidy. The 10-band parametric ranges from 31 Hz to 16 kHz, which doesn't exactly match up to the device frequency range of 20 Hz to 40 kHz. There are 5 presets aside from the default profile. You can also create your own. I'm not sure what the maximum number of open slots are, but I stopped at 11 for what it's worth. EQ curve is a basic EQ where you use a slider and or 3 adjustment points on the graph to adjust how warm or bright you prefer your audio to be. Regardless of what EQ settings you make though, they're saved directly on the earbuds. Now, I wish there were more ways to customize the touch controls because as it is, there's no option to assign single tap or hold commands, for example. Remember, the REX5 is competing in the mainstream premium TWS ANC earphone space where you've got things like the WF-1000XM5, the Technics AZ100, the Cambridge Audio P100, Bowers & Wilkins PI8, Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra, and this thing outprices all of them. Yes, even the PI8, which at $400 already sits in the splurge buy category. So is the Noble worth the coin? For most folks, the answer is probably sadly no, regardless of how good this thing is, as we'll discuss in the positives in a second. Maybe it's my unit or firmware version, but I've experienced a couple of left-right connectivity bugs so far. The first issue is that for a few seconds each time, audio from both earphones would sputter in and out, almost as if I was standing at the far edges of Bluetooth range, even though my phone was literally in my pocket the whole time. Another issue has to do with audio output sounding staticky. It has happened so far twice in 3 weeks, so that's kind of high in my opinion, usually requiring a disconnect and reconnect with my phone to fix, but ultimately I hope all these things are solvable in a future OTA. Check that out, guys. Cold and white. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful day. The air is fresh. And I Know What I Like by Genesis, 1973. First album by Phil Collins as on vocals. He was a drummer before that, you remember? But anyways, I have that song playing on my OnePlus Open. It's sitting at the end of my deck right there. And we're doing the Bluetooth range test on these Bluetooth 5.4 equipped REX5s. And let's see how they perform. So where I'm standing, 25 feet, I just got a left-right. What the heck? Again, the signal fluctuation. Noble? I think we might have an issue here. Oh, that wind is cold. Yeah, it's really bad. I can't even... There's something wrong with the antenna here. Or maybe it's the weather. But I've tested this, guys. I've tested this when it was warmer in my house too. And I got some beef with the connectivity on these. So, yeah. Right now, I'm calling it 25 feet away is where it's at. Not the worst I've seen, but yeah, for something this expensive, I'm expecting more. Just for fun, let's see when these completely disconnect. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me today, by the way. Yeah, not hearing a single thing at all. Nothing. So, yeah, we've completely dropped out. Anyways, you can see the fit of these in my ears. They protrude out a little bit. A lot of people say how bulky they are. They are, but they're not deep. They're not super wide. They are a little bit heavy, but not bad at all. Protrudes maybe about 3 or 4 millimeters at most outside of your earlobe, which is not bad at all. And they stay. You see, I'm running in this deep snow, and they stay put. So if you need to, go for a light run with these, perfectly fine. But again, don't forget they don't have any kind of IP rating. Anyways, let's test how these mics fare for phone calls down by the roadside. I'm trying to get some wind into my ports for you guys to hear. Hopefully it shows up in the sample. Woo, slippery. We got lots of wind earlier, but now it's just quieting down, so I hope there is some breeze coming this way. But noise suppression wind noise reduction really is horrible in this. And as cars pass by, right now we have the benefit of snow tires with studs for you to to hear how noise suppression is pushed to limits. Testing 1 2 3. Here again, testing 1 2 3. My voice quality when it's quiet is nice, but noise suppression not so hot. Wind noise reduction definitely non-existent. So if you're walking in the direction of the wind,
Your listeners are going to be pissed.
What Noble has done with the Rex 5 is merge IEM characteristics like superior audio dynamics, acrylic molding, and the bright colors with mod cons like wireless audio processing, high-res codecs, and active noise cancellation, yada yada yada. And with that in mind, I think the execution is spot on. The build quality and materials are extremely well done. It looks fantastic in this emerald green semi-metallic look, and crucially, sounds like $1 million. It's like a Porsche 911, this thing. It's expensive, but not hypercar expensive, yet performs in a way that shames almost everything else out there. Let's chat SQ. Now, I don't use the word phenomenal very much at all, but the Rex 5 is exactly that, guys. Phenomenal. Hardware-wise, it's crazy how good handoffs between the 5 drivers are managed. Each of the 5 drivers are part of like an in-sync Olympic rowing team, knowing exactly when to assist, exactly when to back off, but constantly working together to do just one thing. And in this case, to give you the best listening experience outside of maybe, say, the $600 Focus Prestige. For example, bass on the Rex 5 has this ability to communicate on a song like Poem of a Chinese Drum by Yim Hok Man, the power of each drum strike as much as where each of the strikes of the sticks are. And this is one of those rare TWSs where sub-bass rumbles a little past my throat, almost down to my chest, normally something only a bigger headphone can do. And here's the clincher, guys. When a track softer in the low frequencies like Lana Del Rey's Video Games or Coldplay doing A Sky Full of Stars, the dynamic driver that handles the bass, backs off, allowing other frequencies to shine. It never behaves like, some kind of frantic Jack Russell Terrier always wanting the attention. It is the mid-range though that is my favorite part of these earphones. The timbre and just how natural everything flows together without ever losing sight of providing the listener with almost every bit of information it can pull from the recording. How it balances detail retrieval like that and not feel analytically boring at the same time is just nuts to me. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing will pick apart poor source files and quickly let you know about it, but feed the Rex 5 with the good stuff and the result is like treating your brain to continuous musical orgasms. For treble, Noble wisely tuned down the analytical nature of the planar mags, at least according to my ears. They're still very fast, mind you, precise and also full of texture, but not tiresome in the least bit, just the way I like it. And now it's also probably a good time to talk about the EQ, I guess, specifically the 10-band and the tailored EQ made in collaboration with AudioDo. You can usually tell when audio gear has good bones and plenty of headroom when tweaking the sound signature itself doesn't easily breach the limits of the hardware. In other words, the Rex 5 is one of those devices where EQing is very flexible and very satisfying. It's just very open to being played around with. Now, I'm not usually a fan of personal EQs that use tone tests and all that because they tend to exaggerate the top end where my hearing has naturally weakened over the years. I've heard people talk highly of the AudioDo system here, and I have to once again disagree. I mean, high mids and low highs are crisper and more forward after the test, but the high end is so sharp that I'm worn out in no time at all. And again, your mileage will vary. For me, I'm happy just playing with the EQ manually myself. And real quick too, imaging is good and immersive, better than most TWS buds, a little behind the best IEMs I would say. Soundstage is quite nice, giving listeners a good presentation of the recording space, although I'll dare say that the PI8 does better here. I can almost guarantee that some of you looking at the 5+ hours battery life on this thing will declare how even your lowly $30 earbuds have 40% more battery life and all. Now, I would normally agree with you, but in the case of the Rex 5, ooh, get it? In the case of the Rex 5, means no, it just went over your head there. It's total dad joke. It's okay if you didn't get it. It might just be a sign you need more fiber in your diet. Anyway, normally I'll be all over the low battery life just like you, but 2 things to consider. The Rex 5 is a power-hungry beast, what with its, 5 drivers and maxed out Qualcomm chipsets, so it's par for course, I guess. Plus, the Rex 5 also accounts for its low endurance on the earbuds with what is likely the biggest charging case battery reserve I've seen in a mainstream TWS. don't quote me on that. But both of these reasons are why I've placed battery life in the neutral territory. Geez, it's only February, but I think this is my favorite premium wireless earphone of the year, guys. It's not perfect by any means. It's not like light in the ear, which affects long-term comfort. It's $50 to $75 too high, in my opinion, even for this category. There's no wear detection. ANC is good, but not Bose good. But on the flip side, the REX5 brings very good technical specs, future-proofing with Bluetooth 5.4, and of course, most importantly, provides such an authentic, flexible, engaging, and rich listening experience that for some of you out there, may be justification enough to pay full MSRP for. But in either case, bravo, Noble, bravo, and I can't wait to see what the REX6 will look like. You know, the fact that you're here right now means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. And also, by the way, thanks to Noble for sending this to me for me to share with you guys. And the fact that I'm able to do that is because of you followers and your support. So if you'd like to see more content like this, reshare this channel with your friends. Tell them to like and subscribe and all that. Yes. And by the way, remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever. And it starts with you, believe it or not. Peace out and God bless.